We want you to know.
In one of the most shocking and cinematic crimes in recent memory, Paris was once again thrust into the global spotlight. Not for its beauty, but for a high-profile jewelry heist that played out like a scene from a Hollywood thriller. The Paris Jewelry Heist, as it's now being called by international media, took place earlier this month in one of the world's most exclusive districts, home to luxury boutiques, five-star hotels, and billion-euro diamonds. The robbery targeted a high-end jewelry store located near Place Vendôme, the same area that's witnessed several infamous heists over the years. It all began on a bright Monday afternoon when three masked suspects, dressed in sleek black clothing and riding motorbikes, pulled up in front of the jewelry store just as business was peaking. Witnesses say the men moved with chilling precision. One stood guard outside with a weapon, while the other two stormed inside, smashing glass display cases with sledgehammers and scooping up millions of euros worth of diamonds, gold, and precious gemstones. The entire ordeal lasted less than 3 minutes. By the time police arrived, the thieves had vanished into the crowded Paris streets, leaving behind shattered glass, terrified staff, and a mystery that instantly gripped the world. What made this heist so fascinating was not just the speed or the value of what was stolen, it was the level of sophistication and apparent planning behind it. Paris police later revealed that the robbers used decoy motorcycles to mislead authorities, changing vehicles halfway through their escape, and even switching outfits in underground parking garages to avoid detection. Surveillance footage captured moments of their getaway, showing them weaving through traffic and disappearing toward the outskirts of the city. The stolen jewels, estimated to be worth over $10 million, belonged to a prestigious luxury house known for serving royalty, celebrities, and billionaires. Within hours, French investigators launched a massive manhunt involving elite police units, drone surveillance, and cross-border cooperation with Interpol. This wasn't the first time Paris had seen such a daring robbery. Similar heists in recent years have targeted Cartier, Bulgari, and Chopard stores. But this one had a level of detail and execution that made it stand out, even among those legendary crimes. As word spread, so did speculation. Was this the work of the notorious Pink Panthers, a network of jewel thieves with ties to Eastern Europe who've pulled off some of the most daring robberies in history? Or was it a new local crew inspired by past heists and modern technology? French media quickly drew comparisons to cinematic robberies, noting how the suspects used electric motorbikes, silent, fast, and nearly impossible to track without heat signatures. The robbers even seemed to know the building's security schedule, suggesting possible insider knowledge. While the public was captivated by the story, the luxury world was on high alert, fearing copycat crimes or inside leaks that could jeopardize insurance coverage and client trust. For nearly a week, the investigation unfolded like a suspense drama. Police combed through hours of CCTV footage, traced phone signals, and analyzed social media chatter. They discovered that the suspects had scouted the area for weeks before the heist, posing as delivery drivers and tourists to blend in. The turning point came when investigators found a discarded motorcycle in a suburban parking lot north of Paris. Inside a nearby trash bin, they discovered gloves, face masks, and fragments of broken jewelry cases, crucial evidence that led to DNA matches of known offenders in the French criminal database. Within days, authorities made their move. In a coordinated dawn raid across multiple locations in Paris and Lyon, police arrested 4 suspects believed to be directly connected to the heist. Among them was a 28-year-old man with a long history of armed robbery and a 32-year-old woman suspected of providing logistical support, including rental vehicles and communication equipment. The arrests marked a major breakthrough in a case that had embarrassed local authorities and alarmed luxury brands across Europe. According to French prosecutors, the suspects were part of a small but highly organized group with links to other European criminal networks. Police also recovered a portion of the stolen jewelry, roughly $3 million worth, hidden in a storage locker rented under a false name. Investigators believe the rest of the jewels may have already been smuggled out of France and sold on the black market, where stolen luxury goods are often dismantled, recut, and resold under new identities. This underground market for stolen gems is vast, stretching across borders from Belgium to the Middle East, making full recovery nearly impossible once the stones are dispersed. Despite the partial success, law enforcement officials admitted that the heist exposed major gaps in jewelry store security, even in the world's fashion capital. Many stores in Paris still rely on human guards rather than advanced digital systems, and some lack the armored glass or remote locking mechanisms that could prevent rapid break-ins. As more details emerged, the story took on a human dimension that made it even more intriguing. One of the suspects, reportedly the mastermind behind the operation, had previously served time for a similar robbery in 2018, but was released early under parole. Another was a small-time thief who allegedly got involved to pay off personal debts. French tabloids quickly seized on these details, turning the case into a blend of glamour and tragedy, a reminder of how desperation and greed often intertwine. Public reaction was mixed. Some people were outraged at the failure of the justice system to keep repeat offenders off the streets. Others, strangely enough, expressed admiration for the audacity and precision of the heist, comparing it to something out of Ocean's 11 or Lupin. On social media, hashtags like Paris Heist and Astas, Lupin Real Life trended for days as users debated whether such criminals were villains or anti-heroes. Luxury brands, meanwhile, tightened their defenses. Stores in the Place Vendôme district increased private security, installed new surveillance systems, and required appointments for high-value purchases. Insurance companies began re-evaluating coverage for jewelry boutiques, warning that repeated high-profile robberies could drive up premiums across Europe. For Paris, a city already famous for its blend of wealth and intrigue, this heist reignited a long history of daring crimes that go back decades. From diamond thefts in the 1980s to the armed Bulgari robbery in 2021, the French capital has long been a playground for criminal masterminds who mix charm with calculation. What makes these crimes so compelling is their combination of precision, luxury, and chaos. Crimes that don't just steal valuables, but capture imaginations. As the suspects faced court, the mood in France shifted from shock to curiosity. In their first appearance before judges, the accused remained mostly silent, though one reportedly smirked as prosecutors outlined the case against them. The lead investigator described the operation as a blend of arrogance and brilliance, noting how close the thieves came to pulling off a perfect crime. Prosecutors revealed that the group had planned to flee France within 48 hours of the robbery, using forged passports and a boat hidden on the Mediterranean coast. Their plan fell apart only because of a GPS signal picked up from one of the stolen motorcycles, which the thieves thought they had disabled but hadn't. That small mistake unraveled everything. The recovery of even part of the stolen jewelry was seen as a rare victory for police, who often struggle to solve such cases once stolen goods vanish into the international market. Investigators also credited public cooperation, as several witnesses came forward with photos and videos that helped track the suspects' movements. It was a reminder that in today's surveillance-heavy world, escaping unseen is harder than ever, even for professional thieves. Still, questions remain. Who financed the operation? Were there insiders within the jewelry house? And how much of the loot is still out there, hidden or already transformed into new pieces? Those mysteries continue to intrigue both police and the public. In a broader sense, the Paris Jewelry Heist has reignited debate over how modern crime is evolving. With technology advancing and cities under constant watch, criminals are adapting, blending old-school tactics with high-tech tools. Police sources revealed that the suspects used encrypted messaging apps and jamming devices to block security alarms. a tactic borrowed from organized crime groups. It's a sign that as security tightens, criminals are getting smarter, faster, and more strategic. Experts say luxury heists are no longer about brute force, but intelligence, timing, and insider knowledge. And while this particular group has been caught, others are already studying their playbook, looking for ways to replicate their near success. For Paris, a city that thrives on its image of elegance and safety, this incident is both a warning and a reflection. It shows that even in the heart of sophistication, crime can strike in broad daylight, leaving everyone, from wealthy clients to everyday citizens, questioning how safe they truly are. The French government has since announced plans to strengthen security around luxury districts, deploying more patrols and surveillance cameras. But for many, the damage to the city's sense of invincibility has already been done. The image of masked robbers escaping down sunlit Parisian streets is one that won't soon fade. As the trial approaches, the arrested suspects face charges of armed robbery, organized crime, and money laundering, offenses that could carry sentences of up to 30 years. Prosecutors are pushing for harsh penalties to send a message that even the most glamorous crimes will not go unpunished. Yet, as with many famous heists, fascination may outlive outrage. In the end, the Paris Jewelry Heist is more than a story of stolen gems. It's a story about ambition, desperation, and the thin line between genius and greed. It reminds us that beneath the glitter of luxury, there's always a shadow, and in that shadow, there will always be someone daring enough to chase the sparkle, no matter the cost.